House Bill 1588, the universal background checks for gun transaction. Where is that bill in the process?
Well, it failed to meet the cutoff to get bills out of the House of Origin, which means House bills have to be out of the House, voted off the House floor, and sent over to the Senate by a certain date. And it failed to make that deadline. So that bill is pretty much dead for this year. And I'm actually glad that it has died. It's a bill that would have put more burdens on honest gun owners, and it probably would have done nothing to deter criminals. Quite frankly, what happens is an honest citizen wants to get a gun, and they're delayed in getting their gun by these background checks. Somebody who has criminal intent isn't even going to go get a background check. All they're going to do is they're going to go find their gun somewhere else. And you do nothing at all to stop crime. What we really need to do is we need to punish those people who have used guns in crimes. And that's the type of legislation that I've supported. When a juvenile has to get convicted of a crime 5 times before they do any time, there's a serious problem with our gun laws, with our whole justice system. So my feeling is, let's force the juveniles to do time after their first or second offense so that we can get them into a corrections system to take corrective action and prevent them from doing worse crimes later on.
The new state revenue forecast came in last week. It looks like we're about even. What does that mean for the state budget coming up?
Well, I'm really encouraged by the way the revenue forecast came out. I was concerned because of some things that have happened or not happened that we may see our revenue forecast drop. Fortunately, it didn't do that. Our revenues, we're going to expect them to be about $60 million more for the rest of this biennium, and only about $19 million less in the next biennium than we had previously projected. And that's really a pretty small amount when you consider we're projecting, $32 billion, and the variation is only about $20 million. So it's a very encouraging sign, especially in light of the fact that all the economists across the country expected that the federal government would continue the payroll tax cuts, but they didn't. So when the federal government didn't extend those payroll tax cuts, more money was taken out of people's paychecks, leaving them with less disposable income. And I expected that was going to have a little bit bigger effect on our revenue forecast, because most of that money that people are now not going to be getting is money that would have been used for taxable sales. And so they would have just naturally been generating more sales tax. So I was concerned that that was going to be a huge reduction in our revenue forecast. And I was concerned that the economy wasn't growing quite as fast as we had hoped last November that it would be growing now. But it seems to be doing fairly much what we thought it was going to be doing. So I'm pretty pleased with that. That doesn't mean, however, that we need to abandon our efforts to try and get people back to work, because we still have a lot of people out there who aren't working. And if we could get those folks working again, then we would see our revenues increase even more, and do it without any kind of tax increase. So the budget deficits that they're talking about of $1 billion or $1.5 billion plus whatever down payment we need to make to satisfy the state Supreme Court on the McCleary decision, those things we could very easily cover if we would just get people back to work. And we would be generating that income without any kind of a tax increase. The economy would be generating that revenue to the state, not a tax increase. That's the way we resolve any of our budget problems.